I the asshole for destroying his painting of me after he gave it to me?
It's Deidre.
I sat for a portrait painting many years ago by a local artist who asked me to. I was happy to at the time. My feelings about this changed. It was an extremely well-done painting and looked almost exactly like me. He has painted several other women in similar fashion. He paints lots of things and various series of things. I'm also an artist. As I've grown older, I realized this portrait was a part of a collection by this man of beautiful women that he would show off. For 25 years, he kept offering to ship the painting to me, but never did. I honestly didn't care if he kept it or not, and oddly, that allowed me to see how over the years he was trying to hold this painting over my head as an object to keep me engaged with him. Ew. But it didn't really work, because I didn't want the painting that much. I think he thought I would be extremely excited to have it. Every time I would see him, he would bring it up and very seriously tell me he was ready to ship it. And I would be like, sure, of course, I would love to have it if you want to give it to me. And he would communicate with me about that up until that point, and then stop completely replying. It began to feel like a game and I wasn't enjoying it. Finally, many years later when I was around, he invited me over to get the painting. But oops, it still wasn't quite finished. 25 years later. So I go over, brought a friend, cause I didn't want to hang out with him alone. He let me see it, but I'd have to come back a couple days later to get it. Still. Finally, he gave me the painting and I took it back home. I was traveling. I don't live where he lives anymore. I thought about how I felt about it, how it made me feel like an object he could toy with, how he'd use this painting to abuse and manipulate me. And this, I don't see where he was abusing and manipulating you. What did I miss? Okay, let me reread a little bit. No, I don't see where he has abused and manipulated her with this painting. She clearly said she didn't even care for the painting. She was just like, okay, sure, I'll take it. And he never gave it to her. Please tell me where the abuse and manipulation is, because I don't see it. And this painting was the only way he knew how. So I destroyed it. He found out because he wanted to display it for a show, and I told him I didn't have it anymore. He was stunned. We had zero. Okay, either she's leaving a huge chunk of this story out, or she is actually insane. Oh my God, I'm missing something. I have to be missing something. Let's go back and just skim it and see if anything sticks out. I would have seen that. My radar is like, I would have seen that. He's painted several other women. Okay, that's not uncommon. She's grown older, blah, blah, blah. 25 years, he kept offering to ship the painting and never did. And she honestly didn't care. So the part that is kind of disorienting for me is that she is saying that he used the painting to keep her engaged with him. But did she feel like she was forced to interact outside of those encounters where he's offering her the painting? Every time I would see him, he would bring it up and very seriously tell me he was ready to ship it. Okay, sounds like he's typical artist. He offered it to her. It sounds like he wasn't sending it to her despite desiring to send it to her. And ultimately, he ended up giving it to her and she destroyed it despite the fact that she was never even interested fully in owning the painting herself. Like she wasn't like, hey, are you going to send the painting? Or hey, I'd really love to have the painting. It's just simply something she said, okay, sure, I'll take it. She actually said, I didn't want the painting that much. She said she didn't want the painting that much. So how is it he's using the painting to dangle over her head to keep her attention? She literally doesn't even want it. Anyways, he found out because he wanted to display it for a show, and I told him I didn't have it anymore. He was stunned. We had zero agreement about future availability of his works. I have no regrets. I'm really glad to know it doesn't exist anymore for others to look at, like he's my owner or a gatekeeper for me, or to include me in a part of a collection of women. Okay, that part I can understand. Been there, done that. Not a fan. Of course, he thinks I'm an asshole, but I don't. He made me feel tied to this painting after the fact in a way that made me very uncomfortable. You said you didn't want the painting. I'm not understanding how he forced you to feel tied to the painting. He simply offered it to you. multiple times and failed to actually give it to you until this point, and you weren't really interested anyways. Knowing it's completely destroyed makes me feel at peace. Okay, yeah, it sounds like there's a lot more going on here, and I think the real issue is actually closer to the fact that that painting existing in a collection of women became something that made her uncomfortable, and I agree, especially if they did have an intimate relationship back when he painted this painting of her. One thing you'll find with male artists is that they often like to paint women that they were spending time with. Their body of work becomes a gallery of trophies. And yeah, hindsight, like if you look back and realize like what was actually going on, you do feel like a fool. I speak from experience. And that is something that I avoid to this day. Whenever I see it like on dating app where the guy is like, oh, I'm looking for my muse. Oh, I'm a musician. I'm a poet. I'm a painter. I'm looking for my muse. It's like, no. I will be damned if I become a trophy on your Instagram profile along with 50 other women or songs about women or poems about women. Hell no. I demand better for myself nowadays. But yeah, hindsight, I can look back and say, you know what? I hate the fact that my face is in that collection. I hate the fact that my body was painted by someone who has painted many bodies. And this is alongside the possibility that maybe they had an intimate relationship. I don't know. But it would bother me too. That's the real issue here. I don't think it has anything to do with someone dangling over their head. What do you think? Edit. To correct one line of thinking, he did not repeatedly ask for the painting. He repeatedly offered it to me without my asking, and if I said no, he would have been insulted, and we have a whole new situation. Who did he tell you he would be insulted? Where did that come in? Because that's not something you said before. Or is it just you being afraid that you would insult him by not taking the painting? There's a whole lot more going on here internally that's just not being said. But we'll roll with it. For the folks who don't understand what it's like to handle fragile male egos, especially ones who are playing games with you, saying, no, I don't want that painting you made of me is actually harder / scarier than saying, okay, sure. And the honest truth is, that part is true. But I don't see, she didn't detail that in this post at all. And the honest truth is, I did want the painting in my possession, not his. You literally said you said you didn't want the painting. I meant it whenever I said I'd like to have it. Thank you so much for your thoughtful replies. Girl, you sound like some spaghetti. I don't want to invalidate you. It's just that there's so much that you didn't say that you're accusing this person of. And it makes me question whether or not those things were actually true or is just your own fear-based thinking. Let's go through some of the comments and see. I can't be the only one. Not the asshole. He was playing a BS game and you ended it. Good for you. 3,948 likes. That's even more upvotes than this post has. AITAH, after reading some of the comments, I trust Opie's version of what's going on. When a man is playing a power game with a woman, she can tell. But where? Where was there a power game? It sounds like he kept offering the painting every time he saw her, probably because he knew that he had already offered her the painting before and hadn't sent it. I see no evidence in her paragraphs here of someone playing a power game. I believe women. I would believe it if it was what was said, but she didn't say that at all. And someone replied to that, it's so transparently a power game, especially lasting that long. It also never stopped since he wanted to then use it to continue to stay in contact with her by taking it back. Okay, I'm an artist as well. When I give a piece away or sell a piece, it never crossed my mind to ask for that piece back, to show it. So that part is a little weird, but it doesn't quite register to me that he was doing that to reel her back in. I know we were speculating before about them possibly having like some sort of relationship, possibly, but she didn't say that. In fact, she said the only times that they were in contact was when they crossed paths. And he said, oh, let me get that painting to you. 100%. Dude's just mad because OP outsmarted him. What? If she had said any of this in the post, trust me, it would be a lot more clear to me. But she never said once that he used the painting to make sure I still spoke to him. To me, that would look like, oh, hey, let's talk about your painting. Oh, I want to finish it again. Can you sit again for me to finish it? Can you come over just for 5 minutes so I can finish the glimmer in your eye? That makes more sense to me as someone using the painting to get someone to come closer. But what she is saying is that, and I will quote her actually, he's offering to ship the painting but never did, okay? Every time I would see him, he would bring it up and tell me how he was ready to ship it, okay? He invited me over to get the painting, but it wasn't quite finished. Sounds like she came over, was able to see it. She didn't have to sit for him to finish the painting, like model for him or anything. I don't know. Abuse and manipulate is a very serious accusation, and this is not what's being communicated in this post. And I know I'm going against the probably 100 plus, 150 plus comments on here that are saying not the asshole, but as far as what she has written, what it looks like to me is that she had her own fears and perspective that may not have been a reflection of reality. For she is seeing abuse and manipulation from an artist wanting to give her a painting but sucking at doing so, which is not completely far-fetched for artists. And she destroyed the painting when she got it. Anyway, here's a response to those previous comments that got downvoted 620. And that's in response to the quote, when a man is playing a power game with a woman, she can tell. Commenter says, they can't always tell. Women are just as prone to psychosis, neuroticism, paranoia, delusions of grandeur, etc. as anyone else. And this is true. We all are. Not just women. Every person on this planet is capable. And I know nothing about OP, so I can't judge, but what they're saying is not false. I know 50 to 60-year-old women who think they're stunningly beautiful. Not beautiful for a 50 to 60-year-old, but beautiful when compared to any woman of any age. It's pure delusional. In some cases, I've had to tell them that they aren't, that they're covered in wrinkles and look like a very old lady, not like Sydney Sweeney or whomever they're comparing themselves to. Women miss the mark quite often. I don't know, that part was a little weird. But yeah, I think what this person is pretty much saying in their first part was something missing from this story. Here's an interesting perspective. Not the asshole. Regardless of your motivations, he gave you the painting and you could do whatever you wanted with it. If destroying it is what you wanted to do, great. If he's upset, well, so what? Not the asshole. There was no contract and he kept holding it above you. Please tell me where he was holding it above her. It sounds like he just kept saying he wanted to send it to her. He's ready to send it to her, but not actually sending it. That could be for a million reasons. He was actually saying, I will ship it. I will ship it. I will ship it. Until the very end when he said, okay, you want to come get it? Yeah.